Eastern, so it's time for Stamping with Denise. I'm so glad you're here tonight. When I was here 2 weeks ago, I totally forgot that last week was Memorial Day and I wouldn't be here, so it's been kind of a lean May for videos, but that's okay. We're back on track. I don't have anything going on, I don't think, in the next few weeks, so I'll be here. If you're new here, welcome. Glad to have you. Please, if you like my video, share my video and comment, share down in the comments. And then everybody who does that, I enter their name in a little drawing and I draw out a name, and that person will get the project I work on tonight. Last time we were together, I made this cute little swing card. Super simple. Looks a little more complicated than it is. But this is going to, where's my paper? Oh, it's Jeanette Melton. Jeanette, I'm going to get this card out to you. I hope you like it. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. And once you do, please click that little blue bell, and then you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video, which is most every Monday night. Not too much going on. We're about, we're a month into the new catalog. Hope everybody's enjoying it. What are your favorite products? I don't know. I've got so many. I don't know. And I have an order coming tomorrow with some new things that I think are some of my new favorites, but I'll have to see. You know, there's always something new. Always something new. And don't forget to check online in the store for the online exclusives, because there's not great stuff in the catalog, but then there's also great stuff that you can only find online. There's last chance products, stuff that's going to be going away. They're from old catalogs, and once they're gone, they're gone. But some of them there's some great deals. And then every couple months, they're Stampin' Up! Releases products that are only online. They don't show up in any catalog. So you always have to check and see what's new there. So that being said, let's see. I think we're going to go ahead and switch to my view of my hands, and we will get started. Except I'm a little bit off here. There we go. I think that'll work. Okay, good. So tonight, I thought, let me see, what is this card called? Hold on. Okay, this is called a shadow box card. You can see it sits upright. This is really easy to make, and it folds flat into an envelope. Just our regular size envelopes. I'm making one that is landscape. You can make them portrait going the other way. But I thought this was such a fun card. And, you know, as I was making it, wouldn't this make a cute little, like a picture frame? Maybe for a grandparent. Put a picture in there. You could, flatten it out, mail it to the grandparents, and look, then all they have to do is take it out of the envelope, put it there, stand it up, and there it goes. I thought that would make a really cute kind of picture frame for a card, or for a picture frame to send to somebody like a grandparent. So anyway, let me know what you think about that idea. I think it's a good one. Okay, so first of all, we are going to start out with a piece of Strawberry Slush. This is one of the new in colors that will be around for 2 more years. And I guess it's a returning color. I wasn't super active at the time when it was out before, but it's a nice color. It's kind of a pinkish red. And the designer series paper, the flowered paper. I love this paper. It's called Floral Impressions. It has the colors Crushed Curry, Darling Duckling, Fresh Freesia, Garden Green, Misty Moonlight, Old Olive, Peach Pie, Pecan Pie, Pool Party, Pretty in Pink, and Strawberry Slush. And look at these flowers. This is great. I'm not going to pull these all out, but there's like pinks and or purples and blues there. And on the back is this green. This paper here is pretty similar to what I'm using today. I don't think it's not exact, is it? Maybe it is the paper. You know what? It is. It is the paper I'm using today. It's got the green on the back. This is one of my favorites here, this sunflower looking paper. It's not sunflowers, but that's what it looks like. I guess it has the dark green on the back. The one we're using today has Strawberry Slush. This one here, which is primarily greens, has this Pool Party on the back. This paper, this variety, has the, what did we call this? Was this Purple Posy? No, Purple Posy's old. Fresh Freesia. Well, I don't know where Purple Posy came from. That's a blast from the past. This paper here, let me pull this out. I like, so you could almost make 4 cards, 3 or 4 different cards just out of this paper. And it has the Darling Duckling on the back. Darling Duckling isn't one of our new in colors. So, anyway. If you like that paper, please order some. You're not going to dislike it, or you're not going to be sorry you did. So, like I said, we have a piece of Strawberry Slush. It's 4 1/4 by 11, so it's half of an 8 1/2 by 11 piece of paper. Okay. Now we're going to score it. I'm moving my cutting blade way out of the way so I don't accidentally cut it. And so we're going to see too if I can get all the scoring right. Now you don't need to write these down. The numbers, all the scoring directions will be in the comments under the video. So you don't need to do that. Don't bother yourself with that. So, unless you really, really want to. Okay, so the first score is at a 1/2 inch. Then we go to 1 inch. I always like to pull either the score or the cutting blade toward me because it pulls it toward this. I find that when I go that way, I tend to sometimes push the paper. So I try to push it toward me. Okay, that was 1 inch. Now we are at, the next one is 4 1/2. And then 4 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 6, 10, and 10 1/2 right there. Okay. Okay, I think we are good now. That's all we're going to need that for. And then the first thing we're going to do then is go ahead and fold this in half, okay? Now, I don't know if you can see the score lines here. These are the ones that are going to get folded. They're going to kind of make the end here. Let's see. So our piece of designer series paper is going to go between these two score lines right here. Okay, actually I'm going to turn it this way. And I'm using a piece of that designer series paper. This is 3. Did I not cut this the right direction? I thought I had this cut. You know what? I think I cut this wrong. Good grief. Okay, hold on. This one's 3 1/4 by 4. What did I do here? 4 by 3 1/4. What's going on here? Okay. Why? So did I score it wrong? Did I score? It seems like I've missed a score line. Hold on, folks. That's what I've done. I think. I should have one more score line right in this area here. So I need to figure out where I missed it at. Okay, so I've got my half, my 1, I missed 4 1/2. That's what I did. Okay, now we're cooking. Okay, that's an easy fix. I knew something didn't look right. Okay, put my ruler back. Okay, that fits much better in between the two score lines, right here and right here. Okay, now we're cooking. See, it's easy to get turned around, especially when you're using a pretty small, or when the 2 dimensions are different, just slightly different. The first time I cut this paper when I was doing my prototype here, I cut it the wrong way. I cut it for a vertical, and I was not wanting to make that kind of card. So, okay. So what we are going to do now is we are going to cut the circle out of this. For this, I am using the stylish shape dies, and I'm using the second to the largest circle, and we're going to put it right there. So you can see which one I took out, the second to the largest. So I got to get my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I brought the big one over because I needed it to fit this piece of paper through. But you all will be very proud of me. I finally put clean new plates cutting in my machine. Because my other ones those were beat to death. I got my money's worth out of those for sure. Okay, and I'm gonna put this just on this card. My circle is centered. I'm gonna move it up just a little bit. I think, maybe, I don't know. Let me see. Let me stand up. Let me get this. Now, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it right in the middle because I kind of like the way the flower overlaps that circle. So we're going to put that in, run that through. Okay. We're going to have this again. Hold on here. Oh, you guys know I prefer to bring my small one over here, but sometimes we need the big one. Okay. You know what? You can save that for another card or something like that. Put this away. We're done with these dies. Okay. So, what I'm going to do now is put the piece of paper right here. I don't think I showed you. There was a piece of paper on this side and on this side, okay? This is just a piece of white, Whisper White cardstock. And this piece is also 3 1/4 by 4 for going to fit right in there. So we'll put this one on right now. There we go. Okay. Come back to that in a minute. Here's my bone folder. Okay, so we're gonna fold on our score lines. Fold in and fold out. But I like to do it this way because I think I get a better score. There we go. I probably should have done it. Let me see. It goes this way. So it goes this way. So remember that I folded it in half, and that was the first fold, and so you just go the opposite then, you know, so you got a zigzag, zigzag. Except, actually, I did do that the wrong way. Let's see. Which way do I, okay, now let's do this the right way. So that means this needs to go that way, and this goes this way. I think. Wait a minute, hold on. Nope, because I know those are going to go that way. And I'll tell you why I know, because we are going to put, hold on. Yes, because I'm going to put adhesive here to glue these two sides down. Okay. Boy. Maybe I should have done a couple more samples. I did one. I thought, that's simple enough. But anyway, you know, here's the thing. If you fold it the wrong way, oh, see it like I did there? No big deal. You just fold it back the other way. It's all going to be attached to each other, so it's not really going to make any difference. Okay, let's see. Are we on? Okay, this is going to go here, and this is going to go here. There we go. Yay. I know that was clear as mud, wasn't it? So, if it helps, you know, after you fold the whole thing in half, remember like I did in the very beginning, you could go ahead and glue those two together like that, and that would help you know which way to do your folds. Okay, and so this one, but this one's not standing right, so I think they're just a little bit overbent, maybe. Let's see. There we are. Perfect. So now I'm going to put adhesive on this one here. Now we're going to attach those two together. Hold on. Come on, this should not be this hard. Guys, thank you for bearing with me. Okay, there we go. Now we're cooking. I don't have any more scoring to do. So now the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to stamp on the inside. I'm going to stamp the love. Let's see. And that's from the Layered Thoughts stamp set. I really like this stamp set. It has a lot of, I like big, bold sentiments. So let me get my mat here to stamp on. Now when I was putting this card together, I put the flower on before I stamped on the inside, and then I realized I needed to take, the flower off because it was in the way for my stamping. So let's see, where's my love at? So see, it fits in that circle just perfect. So we're going to ink this up. we are going to keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully my head is not in the camera. Okay, so there's love. And then the little one, the U, is also in this stamp set. It's right here. See, it has 2 of you. Thinking of you. Thank you. Love you. Happy birthday to you. Lots of good combinations. Love you. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I'm not done with this color. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the piece that's on the back. Okay. And I try not to use multiple stamp sets, but you know what? I had to for this one. The back of mine says, "You brighten my day." Brighten my day. It's from the Spring Corners stamp set. So, I try not to use so many different stamp sets, but can't always. Sometimes you got to get a sentiment or image where you can get it. So, you brighten my day. There we go. Now we're done with that. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on the back since it's done. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to work on the flowers. Super simple. Here's just a piece of scrap paper. These flowers are from this stamp set, Gallery Blooms. And it's just images with a set of coordinating dies to cut them out, plus some other standalone. There's no stamp for this one, but they cut out individual. So it's nice. It's a nice versatile one. So we are going to use this one right here. And this is not a lot of coloring, so I know a lot of people don't like coloring. I'm taking my Memento black. I'm going to ink up my stamp. And remember, when you use your photopolymer stamps, you want some kind of foam or cushion underneath to help you get the best image and get that nice inked up. Okay, put this right here. That's nice. Okay. And let me get a piece of scrap paper here. Oh, come on. Well, I guess I can just fold this over. It's not even a whole piece of paper, it's just a partial piece of paper. But I always like to put something under my paper when I color with blends, because you know they do soak through, and while it's probably not going to get anything on my mat, I wanted to do it anyway. So anyway, I have the light old olive for the leaves, which is kind of my standby. Nothing fancy here, just coloring in the leaves. This doesn't take very long to do, so we'll do that real quick. These are leaves over here. This one here. And this here. You know, when you don't know what color green to go with for leaves, you're not going to go wrong with old olive. It's never been my favorite color, but I do use it an awful lot because it's such a nice versatile color. Let's see. Do I have? No, I've got one more leaf here. Okay. You know, if you want, you could get fancy and, you know, do some lighter and some darker and give it some contrast. For me, this is okay. Then I'm using the light Calypso coral for the petals. Again, I'm just coloring those in. You could get fancy and do more highlighting. I do like these alcohol markers because they color so nicely. But you can't use them for the technique like where you color on the stamp. Those you need the regular markers, the Stampin' Right markers. And this one right there. There you go. Like I said, nothing fancy here. And then I'm using light Pecan Pie for the centers. And I chose this just because there were brown centers on these flowers on the paper. Otherwise, I might have chosen yellow or something, but there really wasn't a lot of yellow on that paper. Then, and I don't know if you can see it on here, on these leaves, or on, not the leaves, the petals. I put some wink of Stella. You can't really see it, but you can certainly see it in person. So let's just put some of that on here too. Because, you know, we always need a little glitter and bling. There we go. Perfect. Yay. Okay, now we're going to die cut this one out using this die. Let me get my machine again. Okay, here we go. I'm going to load it on this side here. I mean, you can go either way, but this is just my routine. You know, we all have our little routines and things. Okay. So while I'm doing this, my class dates for June are Friday the 20th and Saturday the 21st from noon to 2. Oops. On whichever day you prefer. I have to find that die before I go any further so I don't bend it. Hold on, guys. It went. Oh, I see it. Okay. I just didn't want to step or roll over the die and bend it. That's my biggest fear with the dies. I'm going to put my plates in here, and I've showed you this before, but I store them upside down. It helps to minimize warping and things like that. And if they get a little warped, it actually helps kind of flatten them out a little bit. So I really like that. Okay, we're almost done, guys. We really are. There's not a lot left to do here. So we are going to use the dimensionals to put, but you know what? Before we do this, we are going to put these strips on here. There's 8 strips of designer series paper that are, let's see, hold on. I think these are 4 inches by 1/4 inch wide. Okay. And we are going to use the Tombow liquid glue for these. And I'm kind of leaving these together, and you can tell me what you think if you would do this. I kind of like it, but for a lot of people it doesn't make any difference. So let me get my Tombow glue out here. And this is probably one of the better ways to adhere such a small piece. Get a little bit of Tombow. Oh, come on. It was running just a little bit ago. Come on. and just put a little tiny amount, because you know you don't need large amounts. So hold on, I wanted to see how these were. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is line the two strips up side by side so that the pattern for them kind of goes over both strips. You know what? Did I do it wrong? No, it goes like this one. There we go. I'm not sure it makes any difference, but I'm going to pretend that they do. Okay, hold on. How do I want these? I had these. There we go. Perfect. You know, probably whoever gets it, the card would never know the difference. But I just, the strips are so small and it's hard to tell what's on them. So if the pattern is kind of consistent from one strip to the other, I feel like it shows the pattern off just a little bit better. There we go. There's those. Okay, I have these two strips here. Let's see, which way did they go? Did they go that way? Yeah. Okay. And I just use my reverse tweezers to hold on to it because it's such a small piece. You know, I'd have my hand in the glue, and this way it just makes it easy to place it. Like that. Okay. So we do the 4 strips on the front and then the 4 strips on the back. It just adds a little extra decoration to it. I mean, you could put a strip on a designer series paper also on that piece of white cardstock on the back if you wanted. You know, on here you could put a piece down here if you really wanted to. Okay, they're going to go like that. I know some people are team green glue, some people aren't. I like it, but sometimes I do get frustrated by it. If you're not familiar with it, it is the best advice I can give you is less is more, okay? Because if it oozes out, you're going to have stickiness there, because it's not like when it dries, it doesn't dry. It stays a little sticky. You can get that off, and there's a couple tricks you can use, but the best thing to do, if you can at all, is to avoid any oozing. It gets on your hands. It does become it can become a little bit messy. Again, less is more with green glue. So who do you use green glue? Do you ever use it? Always? Sometimes? Occasionally, or never? I'm a sometimes person with it. Let's see. Yeah. If I'm making like a lot of cards, like if I'm doing a card swap and I have to make 20 of a card, I'm probably using green glue because it's more economical. But for just, you know, one or couple cards, I'm going to probably use my seal if I can. Again, the reason we're using it for this is because it's such a small strip. The other thing that green glue is nice for is if you need something where you need to be able to adjust it a little bit, or you need to for a 3D project where you need strength, it's good for that. So it has its place. Okay, so we're going to be putting this on here. Right like this. Make sure it doesn't go off the bottom. It can hang over a little on this side, but you don't want it hanging off the bottom because that might interfere with being able to put it on in an envelope. Let's see, let's put the other one about there. That should work. Should work, I said. There we go. Oh, shoot. Let's hang it over just a little bit. That's why I never push it. I try to remember to not push things down completely until I know everything's got placed. Okay, so now the only thing we're missing are our gems. These are from, these just came out. I don't know if these are online. I think these might be online exclusives. They're Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. And so they've got clear, Pretty in Pink, and Strawberry Slush. So I'm going to use some of the small pink ones, and I'm putting them inside my circle. Here, I don't want them to end up underneath my card there, because then they might, I don't want them to, you know, dent the paper, tear the paper, something like that. Let's see this one here. Do one more. Put that one right down here. Now, I think we are good. Look at that. I like that card. I really like this shadow box card. Have you thought, what are your thoughts? Wouldn't it make a cute little picture frame for Grandma? Get a cute picture of the kids. Instead of the sentiment, you could put the sentiment on the back, but on the front it could, you know, you could have their picture on it. Isn't that pretty? I like that. So everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I will be here next week, Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, for Stamping with Denise. I hope to see you then. Bye now.